Hi guys, so I'm gonna do a different type of video. This is gonna be very hard to explain. It's gonna be at times very incoherent. I'm gonna try my absolute best, but essentially what I've been doing, one of the things I've been doing the past year or few years, I've been trying to make a DC cinematic universe. So what I did, I've compiled, well, it's a what if of what if DC had made a cinematic universe in the late 1980s and just like Marvel did, but in the 80s. Um, and I compiled all sorts of like stuff people have done. I'm nowhere near done yet. I've done it. I've done multiple attempts at doing it, but it's a very hard task. But yeah, I've just compiled other people's stuff, like unproduced stuff in the films that came out, and I've sort of tried to make them coherent somewhat. But I made it in the 80s because um starting an MC or DCCU cinematic universe in the 1970s, it would be too. I don't think it would age well, because I mean the original Superman movie. There's parts of it that have aged well, and there's other parts that haven't. Um, so I don't think it would be a good. I don't think a Batman movie would have been successful, maybe, as the 1989 Batman if it was released in 1978 or in the late 70s if there was a Batman movie. Um, I think it would be better if it was in the late 80s to start this cinematic universe. I think starting it in the 2000s, I think it's too far removed from the movies that came out, like the Michael Keaton and Superman franchises that came out in the 70s and 80s and 90s. I think it's too far removed. So this is supposed to be like, I think this might be the most realistic way this could have happened. So if there was a DC cinematic universe made in the late 1980s, it began in the late 1980s. So this is going to take multiple parts to do, me explaining this cinematic universe. So the first is Superman. So I've also arranged all these characters that are getting movies by first appearance. Some of them I have no idea what the plots are going to be. Um, some of them I do have a very good sense what the plots are going to be. Some of them are like the plots are just the exact same. But so Superman 1988. Another reason I wanted to make it in the late 80s. The I think because Crisis on Infinite Earths happened on this around this time, and I think it would be a good tie-in to have like Crisis immediate post Crisis comics adapted in the big screen at that time. It would be a good business decision to do that. So yeah, that's why I wanted to kind of tie it in with the post Crisis on Infinite Earths stuff. Um, so I'll explain. So I'll finally explain the first movie. So Superman 1988. So this is 19 Superman. This is like an analog to 1978 Superman, Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve wouldn't be Superman in this what if thing. I don't know who would be, but I think Lex Luthor would Dustin Hoffman. I would like to play Lex Luthor. Um, at that time, he would have been good as Lex Luthor. General Zod. It wouldn't be Terrence Stamp. Um, Buddy that plays Hannibal Lecter, I've thought about him playing General Zod. He doesn't really have the body for it though, but I don't know. There would be some differences. Like Lex Luthor would be more of his businessman self because it would tie in with the Man of John Byrne's Man of Steel. He would be like a businessman. He'd be like running LexCorp, instead of being like a criminal. Um, some of the other differences would be the ending. Lois, like, Superman wouldn't turn the world around. Like, he'd find a way to save Lois Lane in time. I don't know. I think that, like, a lot of people didn't like that ending of Superman 1 where he turned the world back. So I would have changed that. I would have added Jax-Ur, who is a Superman, who's a Kryptonian villain, because he was in the original script as alongside generals. The other three Kryptonians, Jax-Ur was there. Um, what else would I do? Yeah, I do make a Batman reference. Perry White would make a Batman reference to Batman being in Gotham. I would do that. That's how I would tie the universe together. Um, yeah, Lex Luthor would be bald. I don't understand why he wore the wig. A lot of the like Miss Tessmacher and Otis. I think they're probably too silly. I want this movie to be more serious, so they probably would not be in it or have a very reduced role. But yeah, that's my general gist for this Superman movie. So this isn't like a pitch or anything. This is just like a what if, because I think DC's screwed now. So DC is completely screwed. The only way DC can recover is if they just stop making movies for like 15 to 20 years. I'm not even joking. Like, I think that's the only way they can recover. So this isn't a pitch at all. Like, me making like an idea for this is just like a what if, what would have happened. So Batman 1988 is the next one. Um, yeah, so there's some differences. Penguin appears in a post-credit scene. Rupert Thorne replaces Carl Grissom. Um, I don't know. Silver St. Cloud is in the movie, but she's the Joker. The Joker's girlfriend is Silver St. Cloud, so it's basically just a name swap. Um, Joker wouldn't die at the end of the movie. I would keep him for future movies. I don't think Jack Nicholson would play him, unfortunately, because he costs too much money. Um, and he's kind of old. I think even at that time, he's kind of old to play Joker. Like, he was good in that one movie, but like for like making Joker into a franchise, it would be hard. Um, for Jack Nicholson to play Joker in a franchise type setting, I don't know. I mean, maybe he could. I'm not sure who would replace him though. Yeah, I have no idea who would replace Jack Nicholson, but yeah, basically all the actors like Michael Keaton still Batman. Um, I don't know. Maybe for Superman, I could have Nicolas Cage as Superman because in Superman Lives, he was supposed to be Superman, and that Nicolas Cage was. Um, so he would have been like a very fresh. I think he made that movie Raising Arizona or whatever. I think that was like the only movie he had back in the late '80s. I think. So he would have been a very unknown actor. He doesn't really look like Superman either, but I don't know. Back in the '80s and '90s, uh, Nicolas Cage could act very well. But so that's my bet. So or yeah, and Robin would appear in the movie, but he wouldn't be Robin. Basically, there'd be a scene where Joker rampage. So in the original script, I'd have in the original script of Batman 1989, which would be released in 1988. Um, Robin's parents were killed by the Joker in the original script. Um, that's also Penguin and Rupert Thorne were in the original script. That's why I had them. So they make minor appearances. That's why they have the minor asterisks. But yeah, Robin's parents would be killed, and then at the end, Batman would adopt Dick Grayson. He would adopt him. So that would happen at the end of the movie. But so the third movie would be Wonder Woman. And that would be in 1989. So Wonder Woman, I changed a few things. It wouldn't be in World War I, it'd be in World War II. I'd get rid of like all the extra side character, like Wonder Woman's army friends and that. Like I thought they're kind of unnecessary. I changed the twist with Ares. I've actually been thinking of having Etta Candy as Ares. That would be the twist. Instead of the British guy, it would have been Etta Candy would be Ares. That would be the twist. Steve Trevor, I'm not sure if he would still die or not. He might. I'm not entirely sure. But I'd also, another thing I would do, I would split elements of it into two movies. But I'll get back to that after. But yeah, so basically Wonder Woman is somewhat similar. The script is somewhat similar to 2017. The basic elements are. Oh yeah, Dr. Poison would have a reduced appearance. And in that movie, what else would I change? Paula von Gunther would be a villain. I forgot to, yeah. So Paula von Gunther would replace von Hindenburg as the villain. Yeah, so that's what would happen. Paula von Gunther. So she was a Wonder Woman villain in the 1940s. Paula von Gunther. She would die. She wouldn't be Ares. Ares would corrupt her. But yeah. So that's Wonder Woman. So the Flash. See about the Flash now. So I got a lot of this Flash from this guy on like Idea. He did it on Idea Wiki. I don't want to open the tab, but he gave me ideas for some of these movies. So what I would change from his though, I wouldn't have I had the Rogues originally here, but I think actually I'm not going to have the Rogues. I'm only going to have Captain Cold as the main villain, and the rest of these like will set up a future movie, or the rest of the villains will be there to set up Flash 2. So the Rogues will be like assembled as a team in the second movie instead of the first one. So Captain Cold will be the main villain. Reverse Flash wouldn't appear yet. Al Falcone was in. I would use his basic ideas from the 2022 or no 2023 Flash. I don't like that movie at all, but I would use basic ideas from it, like I would adapt the Flashpoint. But I'll talk about that later. I'd adapt the Flashpoint storyline for the third movie. So yeah, basically, so Captain Cold is the villain in that. Green Lantern would be 1990. Now, thing with these movies is that they wouldn't have any CGI. So there'd be like a lot of so with Green Lantern, it's going to be a lot of practical effects. So it will be like Star Wars kind of, I guess. There'd be a lot of differences with the 2011 Green Lantern. There wouldn't be Parallax. Hector Hammond would be the villain. There would only be like a scene briefly showing the other Green Lanterns. Like you wouldn't meet them. Yeah, Hal Jordan would still be in Green Lantern, or Jon Stewart would be in the movie. Jon Stewart would be in it, and he'd have a major role. He'd replace Kaimu or whatever his name is Hal Jordan's friend, and he'd get a ring at the end of the movie. Jon Stewart would. Guy Gardner also would probably make a cameo. Kilowog would be in the movie, but he would be practical. He would be like one of the only other Green Lanterns you see. You wouldn't see very many of them. or Sinestro would be in it. Sinestro would be in it. And I guess Sinestro, Green Lantern, and Kilowog would help, or Sinestro and Kilowog would help Green Lantern fight Hector Hammond at the end of the movie. I'm also trying, because these are released before. This is released before a lot of the Green Lantern mythos stuff, like the other Lantern Corps, came out. So I base a lot of it off the '60s comics or the '80s. There's some Green Lanterns, a bunch of Green Lantern stories in the '80s too. The next one's Aquaman. I wouldn't really change anything actually with Aquaman. Aside from the budget would be smaller, probably. Well, yeah, well, very likely, yeah. The budget would be a lot smaller. So you probably cut some things out, but like the Ocean Master would still be the villain. Black Manta would be the secondary villain. That's pretty much all I have for that one. So I guess this would be phase 1. I don't really like the phases. I don't like, or I'll say phase 1. So just leading in Justice League. The next one I would have is Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. So the plot would be very different. It would be Joker and Lex Luthor teaming up to fight Superman, where they would manipulate Superman and Batman into fighting each other. Wonder Woman and Flash would make major appearances. Kalibak would make an appearance. There would be no Doomsdays. Doomsday I'm going to save for much later. There wouldn't be any General Zod or anything, because he's going to appear in Superman 2. Let me see what the notes I had for that one. I got a bunch of notes for these movies. It's insane. Look at the amount of stuff I got. It's crazy. Some of those notes, though, were discarded. I changed my mind on some of them. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, General Zod wouldn't be in it. I changed my mind about that. Guillotina would be with Kalibak. So basically, Kalibak would give Lex Luthor apocalyptic technology. Riddler would not be in it. Well, no, Edward Nygma would be in it. He'd be like a Wayne Tech employee. And Metallo, I forgot to mention Metallo. Metallo would be basically like the Doomsday of the movie. Like Lex Luthor and Joker would have used apocalyptic technology to make Metallo. And Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash fight Metallo. So that's the climax of the movie. But the next one is just, I think logically, you would have like a massive time jump. Actually, I might have forgotten some details about, because with that movie, I originally was going to split Batman vs. Superman into 2 parts. So, yeah, Batgirl wouldn't be in it. Anatoly KG Beast. I don't think he would be in it either. There's not enough room for him in the movie. His role would probably be filled by Joker, KG Beast in the movie. Cyborg would just be an image. Green Lantern, maybe. He might be. I think Green Lantern would make a small appearance. Mercy Graves would be in it, yeah. There'd be no Robin. No, Dick Grayson would probably make like a cameo. He wouldn't play like a major role though. He wouldn't be Robin yet. Supergirl wouldn't be in it yet. I'm gonna save her for later. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that movie. So the next one is I'm going to make a year-long gap between, because I know the budgets are a lot different, and everything's basically different, so I'm just going to make Justice League 1992. So yeah, the Justice League is basically the core one. It's not, it's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter doesn't really get his own movie until probably, I haven't really even thought of that yet, but so the villains would be Steppenwolf, Calabac I think would be in it again. The Apexalians would probably be in it. As minions, both the Parademons and Apexalians. Yeah, there's a lot of characters. A lot of the movie would basically have the same elements. Yeah, pretty much as the original. I mean, Batman. Well, all the heroes would be less experienced. Batman and Superman. There'd be Superman in the movie. He wouldn't be dead. Batman would be a lot less experienced. There wouldn't. Yeah, there's no Lois Kent. That's for later. Maxwell Lord will be set up for the next movie, Justice League Mortal. So that'll be the second Justice League. Henry Allen. Yeah, the main villain's just Steppenwolf dies at the end. It's sort of like how Ryan Choi wouldn't be in it because he wasn't even created. So, like, I wrote a lot of this like a year or two ago. So I don't. So a lot of this has changed. Especially, I decided to make it much more organized. Lex Luthor would make yeah, Lex Luthor would be in the next movie. Deathstroke would not be in the movie, actually. In this version, he wouldn't be in the movie. But yeah, it's pretty much, yeah, it will be one part. Basically, Batman versus Superman and Justice League are like two part, or like it's like one and one, like one and one. So essentially, it's a 2-part movie. 19, the rest of 1992 would be, I think, Wonder Woman, Amazon. So essentially, and I only got a rough detail of this one, but Ares comes back, and Dr. Poison, who made a minor appearance, has a much more prolific role. I know it's gonna be that movie's gonna be in the modern day, not in the 1940s. But yeah. And the next one would be The Flash 2. So that would be 1993. So I'm making 2 movies a year. So Flash 2, the Rogues would be the villains. Captain Cold would assemble the Rogues, and Flash would fight all the Rogues. And Reverse Flash would would actually be the one like supplying the Rogues with technology, and he'd appear at the end to set up the third movie. I don't think the third one will be have Flashpoint Paradox because that wasn't made until 2011. So I think I'll make it, or it'll be a separate movie. Oh yeah, Ra's al Ghul would have had a minor appearance in because Ra's al Ghul is going to be one of the villains in the second Justice League Mortal. So the next one's Green Lantern 2. I think that's Awakening, Green Lantern Awakening. I would have Krona as Sinestro and Krona would be the villains. A lot of these ideas came from this one guy who did them. I was just trying to make it make sense in my version. Where is that too? Yeah, or yeah, Star Sapphire. Well, no, she'd only have a minor role. Star Sapphire. Most of the movie would be about Krona, who's attempting to solve the mystery of time, and Sinestro turning evil. And the next one is Aquaman 2. I think that is a subtitle. I think it's not the Lost King. Yeah, it's the one in real life. Now that doesn't come out as of this recording, but Black Manta's the main villain. Ocean Master isn't in the movie. Ocean Master basically attacks Atlantis, and Atlantis is destroyed at the end of the movie. And Aquaman's forced to. Aquaman doesn't appear in the next Justice League because of Black Manta destroying his kingdom. That's why it's called the Lost Kingdom, because Atlantis gets destroyed by Black Manta. So the next one would be. Let's see if I got this right. Yeah, I guess another Superman. So Superman 2. So it'd be a very long time before, or no, that'd be 1994. Yeah, so there'd be a big gap between the Superman movies because I got to fit in all these other ones. This would be Phase 2. Yeah. Just make it neater. So I don't know. I'd probably make Superman 2 a whole different. Well, the villains will be the same, but the whole tone of the movie, I'd like to change the tone, because the tone of the original Superman 2 is really silly. I changed the ending where, like, I think Superman would reveal his identity to Lois Lane in that movie, but there wouldn't be like a kiss for erasing it. That was really stupid. So I'd have that, and yeah, Jack Sir again would be added in. I think General Zod would be put back in the Phantom Zone. He wouldn't die, but he'd be put back in the Phantom Zone because he's going to appear in another future movie. Actually, no, I don't know. He might actually die in that. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind about that one. This next one is Batman Returns. So this one is completely different. Batman Returns. There's no Catwoman. I'm gonna make it so the two villains are Two-Face and Penguin. That's the two villains. Because Two-Face was set up in the first Batman. That's what they should have did all along anyway, have Two-Face as the... they should have had Two-Face in the second movie and save Catwoman for the third movie. That's what I would have did. Riddler is set up in the post-credit, or near the end of the movie. Two-Face escapes at the end. Vicky Vale dies in it. I have Vicky Vale return, but she'd die. And Dick Grayson would finally become Robin in the movie. So Robin is there. So that's basically a synopsis of that movie. The tone of that movie would probably be different too. It wouldn't be as dark. It'd be more like the 1989 Batman. Or 1988 in this case. The next one would be Justice League Mortal. Yeah, Justice League Mortal. So, yeah, so this is obviously, it's basically the same movie as the the George Miller Justice League Mortal, so it's the sequel to Justice League. It deals with Batman's contingency plans being exposed, like what actually happened. Instead of Talia al Ghul, it's Ra's al Ghul. Maxwell Lord doesn't die at the end of the movie, or both Ra's al Ghul and Maxwell Lord. Ra's al Ghul escapes and Maxwell Lord's put in jail. Lex Luthor is also in the movie. He ends up aiding Ra's al Ghul and Maxwell Lord to destroy the planet or take over the planet. And he also gets his idea of the Legion of Doom from Batman's contingency plans. He gets the Legion of Doom idea from Batman's contingency plans. Also another difference. I think Green Lantern died in the original. One of the heroes died in the original script for Justice League Mortal. I wouldn't have that until later. I think Flash also got crippled in the movie. I wouldn't have that either. And, another thing. I would have introduced Wally West in the second movie. Or no, he would be in the first movie, but he'd become Kid Flash in the second movie. That's what I would have did. Yeah, that's what I would have did. I would have had Kid Wally West in the first one, and then he would be Kid Flash in the second movie. So that's phase 2. Darkseid wouldn't be it. I don't know. Darkseid wouldn't really have a role in it at all. So, how much time? I'll explain a bit more. So, phase 3 would be Wonder Woman. I guess when it came, instead of 1984, I'm going to say when it came out. So 1996. So Maxwell Lord would basically be orchestrating things from jail. Cheetah would be the villain. I don't know, I haven't seen Wonder Woman 1984, but I've heard it sucks. So I'd probably change, I think there's like a dream machine or something in it. I wouldn't have that. I might have Wonder Woman actually kill Maxwell Lord, like what happened in Infinite Crisis. I might have that happen in this movie. That's a good idea. Another thing about Justice League Mortal, I would have expanded the Justice League. So Plastic Man, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, or maybe no, just Hawkman, because I would have introduced Hawkgirl later. And Green Arrow would have joined, I think. And Cyborg would have joined. Cyborg, Robin would have joined. Actually, no, Robin wouldn't have joined. So it would have been, so the members of the Justice League and Justice League Mortal are Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, the original 7, plus Green Arrow, Plastic Man, Cyborg, and maybe Captain Marvel. I call him Captain Thunder, because I think that's what he should be called. That's what I call him in these things. I don't know if I wrote any notes down for that. Green Lantern, I had Guy Gart. Yeah, I had a bunch of characters. Okay, so yeah, I would have Hawkgirl and Hawkman too. Yeah, most of these characters I wouldn't have. The Atom. Yeah, maybe Ray Palmer. I'd have that Ray Palmer Atom. So that'd be the Justice League. It would expand in the intermedium between the events of the first and second movie. So the next one is Flash 3. I think it would just be it would just be a movie with Flash and Reverse Flash. Yeah, that would be just basically what it is. It's just like a movie between. Reverse Flash might appear to die at the end of the movie. Um, yeah, like Reverse Flash. Actually, I know in the comics in the early '80s, Reverse Flash killed Iris West, so I might have that in that movie. I'm not entirely sure. The next one is Green Lantern 3. I think I would actually. Parallax would be the villain in this movie. And the whole Green Lantern Corps would be introduced. So this would be the most expensive movie. But they would fight Parallax. And Green Lantern would. Hal Jordan would survive. I think I might actually like cut off his arm or something though, like make him look like battle scarred. I might cut off like have like Hal Jordan's arm. Hal Jordan and John Stewart would be the Green Lanterns. I wouldn't have Guy Gardner. Actually, no, I would have Guy Gardner. I would have Guy Gardner as Green Lantern. Um, the next one is Aquaman 4. So King of the Sea. So the whole movie, Aquaman basically emerges from hiding, and he wants to get revenge on Black Manta. He wants to kill Black Manta. And he doesn't actually kill Black Manta. He spares his life at the end. But he messes up Black Manta really bad. Like really savagely beats Black Manta at the end. Um, that would be the end of the Aquaman movies, I think. Cause yeah. Superman 3 would have Brainiac. That would be Brainiac would be in this movie. Yeah, 1998. Yeah, it would be Brainiac and Lex Luthor would be in it. Supergirl would make her first appearance. She would be like a minion of Brainiac's, but then Superman would turn her to good. Yeah, sort of the ideas. Or yeah, Mr. Mxyzptlk makes like a minor appearance. I wouldn't have him as like a major role. Like Superman's just like fighting him at the beginning, like just an opening scene. That's what I would have had for that. Batman continues. So it'd be the villains in this movie would be Catwoman and Riddler, or no, Two Face, Cat or Riddler, and Catwoman would be like an anti-hero. Um, yeah, that's what I would. Yeah, that's what I would have did in that. Yeah, Robin would have been in it. I don't know if I would have added anybody. Oh no, 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 never mind. No, the movies are called this. So the sequel's called Batman and Robin. Instead of Batman Returns, it's Batman and Robin. And the third one's called Batman Returns. For some reason, I switched them. I thought Batman Robin, because Robin was making his first appearance. And yeah, I think that's it for that. A lot of these notes are very old. They're not what I think now. Well, a lot of the characters, some of the characters I would keep. Um, yeah, the Batmans are gone, or Batman continues. Yeah, I must have. Yeah, Jonathan Crane would make a minor appearance, so he would be the director of Arkham Asylum. So that would be Chase Meridian wouldn't be in the movie. She would be her role. Well, her role wouldn't be. Yeah, her role wouldn't be in the movie. I wouldn't have her in the movie because Batman's interest in that would be Catwoman, and Vicky Vale would have died in the previous movie, so Batman's very edgy. And then the final one of Phase 3. It's not them fighting Darkseid yet. It's Justice League. panics, and so they fight the Legion of Doom. So Lex Luthor assembles the Legion of Doom. And the roster, I think Golden Lion or whatever did. I would have had a different roster, I think, from his. I think, yeah, I had a completely different one. Let me see. Or actually, no, I think it's up here. Justice League. So, Circe Minor. Okay. So the Injustice League would be, yeah, Bane wouldn't be in it. I'm saving Bane for later. It would be Black Manta, Brainiac, Captain Cold, Cheetah, Dr. Poison, Gorilla Grodd, Lex Luthor, Riddler, Scarecrow. No, Scarecrow wouldn't be in it. So Riddler and Star Sapphire. That would be the yeah, that would be the roster. So there's no Bane and there's no Scarecrow. So that would be the roster of the Injustice or Legion of Doom or Justice League. And the White Martians would also the White Martians would help the Injustice League in the movie. I'm not sure how though, but they would help the Injustice League. And then Darkseid, then the next movie will be Darkseid actually invading Earth. But yeah, that's sort of how it's like all outlined. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Yeah, I'm sorry it's so confusing. I just wanted to talk about it. If you guys like this video, like, comment, or subscribe. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys later.